Hello guys, and is General Gerasimov, the head of Russian army, dead? Or drunk? Or dead drunk? I think all of these versions are possible, so let's discuss more about the successful Ukrainian attack on Saki base and how likely it is that Gerasimov was killed during this attack, because lots of Russian publics and global media discuss this since yesterday. Let me give you an ordinary Ukrainian perspective on that. My name is Anna, and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you're new to the channel, you support Ukraine, please subscribe and help us fight against Russian propaganda and fake news. And my longtime friends, check your subscription status and hit notification button. So I love talking about the potential death of Russian generals and Putin in particular, because these are people who brought a lot of evil to this planet. But one of the most important things all of us have to understand, this is not just Putin's or Gerasimov's war, this is the war of Russia. And millions of people, be they brainwashed or it is their inborn imperial worldview, they are for this war. They enjoy learning about the destructions in Ukraine or watching how their supreme orc threatens the world. So unfortunately, Russia, Soviet Union, Russian Empire, all of these monsters, they were not about individuals, but about this collective misery, collective hatred. So even if Putin is dead, Gerasimov is dead, nothing will greatly change in Russia. If we want some changes, we have to work on them together with all the adequate, healthy, democratic world, and it's a difficult task. So yesterday, news on the death of General Gerasimov, who might have been killed while visiting a Saki air base in temporarily occupied Crimea, were all over the internet, and many of you asked me this beautiful question in comments. I cannot tell you for sure, but what I don't like is the fact that first this news appeared in Russian public, same as it was with Putin's death a couple of months ago. Typically, they do it to test people's opinion inside Russia and to check how they feel about disappearing of Putin or death of Gerasimov. Why? Well, we don't know. Maybe just a way they collect statistical data in Russia, or preparing for something, or just knowing what will happen in case of. So this is one of the things that bothers me. It did not come from Ukraine, it did not come from British intelligence services or something else, it came from Russia. But as all of us like this kind of messages, I mean also global media, it spread all over the world. And Gerasimov is not visible at the moment. Russia typically hides both its losses, its problems, and even in case of explosions, they say someone smoked. If you're new to the channel, demonstrate your solidarity and subscribe. So we may see Gerasimov on some videos in future, as we saw general that was killed in Crimea, potentially during the destruction of Black Sea Navy headquarters, and he appeared once on some fake Zoom, and since then he is nowhere seen. So it is very likely that he was killed. Something similar may be with Gerasimov, but he is also an alcoholic. And I'm sorry, but I will turn on sarcastic on a regime. This is true that Russia suffers from alcoholism greatly, and especially in that top military. You've seen drunk Medvedev, a former president of Russia. You've seen Yeltsin dancing drunk, and it is very widespread among Russian generals. Well, of course, it's a stressful and extremely disgusting work, but also this is a Russian national habit, and Gerasimov is known for drinking a lot. So when I listen to Ukrainian military experts talking about his potential death, they say, with all respect to the strength of Ukrainian armed forces, it is more likely he will die of alcohol intoxication than of massive Ukrainian attack. Second, Russian generals and commanders are pretty cowardly, and they don't travel a lot to Ukraine because they know every Russian who crosses Ukrainian border can return back in a black package. How do you call it? So anyway, they are not active on the front lines, same as Putin, always commanding somewhere from bunker. So it may be that Gerasimov is simply drunk somewhere. You know, it's a New Year period, and in Russia they celebrate it for months or more. celebrate, they fall out of communication, work, and they simply drink. So it may be that Gerasimov is drinking somewhere, or dead because he drank too much, but still it's possible that he died while visiting that Saki Air Base. And here is the second part of this video, which I like a lot. These are the results of a successful Ukrainian Air Force operation, where with Ukrainian missiles we've hit their commander and headquarter posts, and among many of such points, Saki Air Base. This is an air base that they use for Su-30 and Su something like that. It seems like 2024 will be a bad year for Russian bomber jets, and hopefully for Russian army in general. So anyway, if we start this new year with the death of the head of Russian army, I don't mind, I like it very much. But being a Ukrainian, I don't think we're that lucky. So maybe he will survive his alcohol period. But what is most important, and we have to understand that, guys, Russia is not limited to Gerasimov or Putin. They are not the only ones who make these evil decisions. They do not keep 140 million people in hostages. Many of them actually love what is happening. They cheer that. They vote for such people. They come and leave their comments even below my videos, and you very well know them. Not all of them are bots. Some of them are people who love this kind of imperialism. It's extremely toxic, and if we want to live in a normal world after we win, we have to start designing and thinking what should be done to Russian society to return it back to healthy, adequate understanding of human relations, respect for human dignity, human life, development of individualism, and so on. Because once again, it's all about collective decisions, it's all about collective crimes. By the way, it's very common in Russia that they commit these war crimes together, and then they say like no one is to blame because it was done by a group of people. And this is exactly what Russia does now. Putin, I'm very much afraid that after we win and then some decades pass, Putin will once again become a hero of Russia, just as they have Stalin as their hero now. This is disgusting, this is very sick, but this is also real with Russia, and we have to think on that too. Anyway, thank you so much for your support and understanding. Thank you for following the updates from Ukraine. If you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe. Join me on Instagram, Threads, Twitter. I'm very active there, and all the links are below this video. Also, we have a community on Discord and a beautiful merch shop with different items that work well as conversation starters and reminders about Ukraine. Because for 2024, it's crucial for us to remain united and finally finish this evil regime. Thank you once again for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!